back to the Real Sports Rundown. I am your host, Ryan Gentile. Now, I know, and I'm sorry, it's been a few weeks since I've done the show, but hey, duty called, man. I had some time off from work. I went home, got to see some friends, and you know what happens, man. Sometimes you drink, you have a little too much fun, you get tired, man. I was running on fumes by the time I got back here to Nacogdoches, but all I got to say is, before I get started on the show, there's a lot I got to get to. To everybody back home, family and friends, thank you so much for your support, man. You do not know how satisfying and how grateful I am that y'all support what I am doing. Y'all support my show. Y'all are wishing me luck. It meant the world to me. Now, one thing I have to mention, man, the highlight of my trip back home was the fact that I was going to an Astros game. The Cardinals were in town. My friend Kathy invited me. She works for NASA. They were having the 40th anniversary of landing on the moon. She tells me she's going to be on the field, so I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to go sit in the stands. As you can see from these pictures, I was on the field with her. She brought me on the field. I got to go in the press room, met Richard Justice of the Houston Chronicle. Then I got on the field, and this is me and Kathy standing on the field, literally, man. Kathy, I love you to death. I don't even know how I'm going to repay you for that, because I think that was probably the greatest experience I will ever have going to a baseball game, unless, this sports stuff pans out and I actually get to do it for my job. But until that day, greatest day of my life. Thank you, Kathy. I love you so much. You are the best. And also, I ended up going to a benefit for my friend Lisa. She's the cousin of one of my very good friends, my best friend actually, BJ. Her son was born prematurely, 15 weeks early, 2 years ago. His name is Hayden. She had a benefit for him. She's a single mother, raising him on his own, trying to, afford all the medical costs and all that stuff, and he's going to need medical care for the rest of his life, especially as he gets older, and so she needed all the help that she could get. They had this benefit for Hayden, not for her, it was for Hayden. They raised almost $30,000 with the auctions that they had, the raffle tickets, selling barbecue plates. It was a great event. I got to go. It was a great time. A lot of money raised for a good cause, and if you like what you see here and you want to donate anything to Lisa, please do so. And you can go do that at this website. Just go to mybabyhayden.blogspot.com, and it's the blogspot of all Hayden. You can register to get constant updates on what's going on and everything like that. So please, if you have any kind of donation that you are willing to give, please go to this website and please donate and help her out as much as you can. She's a great mother. He's a great kid too. He is a very, very good-looking kid. So, and to all my friends, that I got to party with back home and everything, thank you for y'all support. Kyle Mickulin, man, my buddy, he got to do the show with me last week, man. It was unbelievable. It was fun, man. Can't wait to get the rest of my friends up on the show along with me. Figured out a way to get you guys on. So next week, be ready, guys, because it's close to fantasy football season, and it's close to college football season, and I'm going to have you guys on. I need y'all's opinions, too, you know what I mean? Because, it works a lot better when there's some back and forth going on between us. So, okay, enough of all that stuff. Let's get down to business, all right? Now, I would start off talking about some NFL, but the problem is there's so much stuff going on. These headlines, you can't pass these up. Very first thing, today, we just found out Cliff Lee was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. So right now, that makes the Phillies the favorite in the National League over the Dodgers. You put Cliff Lee in that rotation with Cole Hamels, you got the best 1-2 punch right now in baseball, in my opinion. And right now, the Phillies are going to be that team to beat. Now, the Blue Jays screwed up their chances because they were asking for way too much for Roy Halladay, whose contract expires next year. Well, guess what? If you don't trade him, by the time you try to trade him next year, you're going to have to take whatever anybody's going to be willing to offer you. You lose all your control. So unless you trade him in the next couple of days, next couple of hours, you're just SOL, Toronto, man. You're not going to get as great as prospect as Philly was willing to give you. You should have just taken the deal. That's what I would have done. But, sometimes, man, people they try to be too greedy. And guess what? When you try to be too greedy, you get the rug pulled out from under you. Okay, and also, Brett Favre decides to stay retired. That's right, Brett Favre finally decided. Oh my God, finally. Does anybody believe? Raise your hands if you believe he will stay retired. Yeah, I didn't think so either. We'll see how this goes. We've learned with Brett Favre, never say never. Watch it. If one quarterback gets hurt sometime this season, expect Brett Favre to come back. And then Pete Rose. The rumor was that Bud Selig was going to reinstate Pete Rose back into Major League Baseball. But then they're saying that, well, he's not really going to do that. They're not going to reinstate him where he can manage any team because obviously he got caught gambling. He lied about it for years, finally admitted to it, started making money off it because, hey, you got to make money somehow if, you know, the one good thing that you were at, all right, the one thing that you were good at, if I can get my words right here, you can't even get a job in. So what they're supposedly going to do is maybe reinstate him to get into the Hall of Fame, and that is it. You got to let him in the Hall of Fame, okay? It's Pete Rose. He's the all-time hit leader. He's the leading category in, like, runs, hits, doubles, singles, whatever. I mean, it's Pete Rose, okay? I mean, everything he did was when he was managing and it was off the field. It wasn't when he was a player. You can't take away his numbers, okay? It's not like these guys that did steroids. I heard somebody mention this aspect of it. People that do steroids, okay, they do the steroids, they serve their time, they come back, they still get to boost their numbers. Pete Rose's numbers are intact, okay, in the non-steroid era. Even if, you know, even then, he never been linked to steroids, just gambling. So his numbers are pure. Now, did he commit the cardinal sin? Of course he did. So you punish him by not letting him in Major League stadiums like you are now. You do not let him manage or be any kind of coach. But you got to let him in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest players that ever played this game. So, okay, and then also, speaking of reinstatement, Michael Vick has been reinstated by the NFL. He can start training camp right away. He can play in the final 2 preseason games, and then he can start playing in the regular season by week 6. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, it's not fair that he's getting suspended for these games because he served his time. He did serve his time according to, you know, the society standards. You know, according to our country, he served his jail time. Yes, he deserves a second chance. But he was never suspended from the NFL. When all this was happening, when he got convicted and went to jail, this happened in the offseason. He never missed any games. Yes, he missed a year and all that stuff, but he was never officially suspended by Roger Goodell because he didn't have to. Why would he have to? He was going to prison. So I agree with him being suspended. He needs to be suspended because he's not going to be ready by week 1 anyways. Let him build his legs back up. Let him try to get back in the thick of things. And by week 6, maybe you can use him as a punt returner, kick returner, maybe a couple Wildcat offenses. But here's going to be the biggest question. Will somebody sign him this season? It's hard for me to say no because there's always somebody out there that's going to take a chance. And the teams that are going to have to be able to take a chance are going to be those big market teams with those big egotistical owners that just do not care. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to have to be the ones to take over the reins and basically tell their fans, look, we know you don't like him, but he's going to be great for our football team. Wait till you see what he does and helps us win. Now, if he doesn't help them win, well, then that's a whole other issue and another story. Okay, and then Tom Watson lost the Open Championship after being up by 3 rounds. He got stuck in a 4-hole playoff after he missed I think an 8-foot putt, man. And at 59 years old, I mean, fatigue had to have set in. People think he choked. He didn't choke. Okay, he just lost his gas. He lost himself, his steam. He just couldn't get it done. And that's okay though, because he proved that old guys can still get it done. Like a wine, it gets better with age. And Tom Watson made a huge jump in the rankings. He went from 1,000-something all the way to 108, the biggest jump ever in golf history over a week's time or something like that. So, congratulations to Tom Watson, man. You are an inspiration to everybody out there, especially my dad and all my friends that play golf. And quickly, the Astros are making a run at top of the National League Central. Not so much today. They're getting their butts kicked by the Cubs. But that's all right, though, because there's still plenty of baseball to be played. People are already penciling in the Cubs as the division winners. Last time I checked, I don't remember a division being won at the end of July. There's still 2 months to be played, and the Astros still have a shot at it. Obviously, I'm supporting my team. I even got the cap here that I'm going to put on real quick, because, hey, you know what? 2 months left in baseball. The Astros still have plenty of time to get things done, and it's going to happen. All right, that's part 1. Part 2, don't go anywhere, is coming up next.